Hi everybody, my name is James and welcome to Forsaken Knowledge. I have a couple of really good Mars anomalies for you today from Sol 529, taken from the mass cam of the Curiosity rover. And it's just before they reach Diego Gap, and just like everything else in Diego Gap, it's just absolutely full of anomalies to look at. There's too many to point out in a video like this. You really need to just download the picture and have a look at what you find in there, just everything, including right here in the foreground, which is a very interesting piece of technology. It's very obviously not geology, and it's not a piece of carved stone. This thing is a piece of technology. And unfortunately, it also looks like R2D2's dead body. But it looks also to me like one of those FLIR cams, like that leg on the front would be a matching one on the back, and it would, allow it to pivot and rotate on its base, and the hole maybe in the front is where the camera sits. Looks exactly like that sort of technology, or at least that technological intent. It also seems to be staring down at or leaning towards that thing in the foreground there, which is a triangle with 3 holes on it, 2 of them which clearly have tubes on it, or even more. It's hard to say. It's kind of been pixelated. But on the back is also a bunch of rectangular pieces of stuff that is obviously technology jammed up against its back. So technology is surrounded by technology. You also notice the color of it is the same as the ground around it. It's clearly made out of metal. Something like that would be made out of metal, not stone. So it's encrusted with the dust and dirt of Mars, and you just can't see that it's metal. You have to go there and brush it off, which is, I think, why we see a lot of anomalies that we think might be metal, look like it should be metal, but are unclear if it's stone or not, because you really need to go and have a look. You have to brush it off to know for sure. But that's definitely a piece of technology. The resemblance to R2D2's dead body is unfortunate, but definitely something to look at. Now, also on this picture is up in the top corner, which looks to me like foundations of a building. Other people might say that's just geology, but I say it's foundations of a building. There's also bits of technology lying around everywhere. There's also, in all these pictures, triangles, trapezoids, triangle beams, trapezoidal beams, and then there's a couple, right here is a trapezoidal beam I highlighted, and between the 2 pictures there is a triangular beam laying on the ground. And there's lots of these. If you train your eye to look at it, you'll find them everywhere. As the next picture here is from the descent cam on the Curiosity rover, or the belly cam. Points straight down. You can see the Mars rover's wheel there, and there's a couple of things that it kicked up when it drove by. The wheels are 18 inches wide, and that thing sitting in the tread the wheel made, so this must be about 2 inches wide or so, but very clearly a triangle with a hole with a raised collar. And that dot at the top, either a bolt or dissimilar piece of metal or decoration, whatever, but geology doesn't make that. And I think the bigger pieces are important, but some of these small things, the tiny things you see laying in the dust and the dirt, every bit is just as telling. That rectangular piece there to the left is clearly not geology as well. And you can see that, that white dot is not a pebble sitting there. It's exactly perfectly centered. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. That's something that was made. So these are the sort of things that obviously if NASA's letting us see them, that the day of disclosure has to be close at hand. They just can't. There's just too much here for them to cover up or whatever. Them ignoring it, not talking about it, is pretty peculiar that they can get away with that. It's amazing that some of these things aren't on the 6 o'clock news every day. But silence and lies, of course, as we'd expect from NASA. But thanks for watching, and that's Sol 529. There are many pictures to look at. Thanks.